Hi Tappers! Today, I want to dispel an ugly and heavy myth that is so prevalent in the healing arts, but not really ever directly spoken. And it is in all healing arts: allopathic, holistic, natural, energetic, north, south, east, west. We've all gotten bit by the "you should know better" bug. There is a quick tendency to judge a person who leads in the healing arts when they don't immediately rise above a seemingly negative thought or experience. An overweight doctor, a mental health worker having a mental breakdown, a Tai Chi instructor exploding in anger. How dare they? What do they think they are, human beings? Right. It reminds me of an experience of a friend of mine who is a life coach. She is pretty consistent in her appearance and fairly fragile in it as well, meaning it hits her hard if she isn't happy with how she looks. She's had a certain procedure done on her face for a while that she feels happy about, and it has to be repeated about twice a year. Now, she's done this for about 2 decades. Same person doing it. She goes in one time, and it goes differently. Both people are baffled, no idea what happened, but now her face looks different. It's noticeable, but not awful. Someone who doesn't know her wouldn't know the difference. She still looks nice, but it is a notable shift from her previous look. And it will take time for it to shift back. She was absolutely devastated. It didn't matter that everyone told her she still looked good, even though it was different. She was gutted. People seemed to hold a grieving period for her for about a week, and then this bug began to bite. She began to get nudges from people to just get over it. Well, don't you have a tool for this? Well, how do you teach other people to be okay with stuff like this? Why are you still letting this bother you? Aren't you a life coach? Can't you figure this out? Mutual friends began to comment to each other. Well, I guess she doesn't want to heal. Yeah, she cosmically brought this on to herself. I guess she just won't see her issue. Oh, you know how she is. This will be her downfall. Should she really be coaching people if she can't get over something simple like this? Okay, Judgy Buggy, let's have a chat. When was it decided that in order to have knowledge that was valuable and worthy to pass on to others, you have to be perfect to deliver it? When was it decided that in order to dare put yourself out there as a healer or be one as a profession, you have to be elevated to some super high plane to be pretty much untouchable first? Isn't it true that to help someone up, being one step ahead is enough? What if this person is choosing to get somewhere new, that's fantastic, and immediately turns around and extends their hand to pull others up there too? Now, I don't know any true healer, meaning a person who has a pure intent to create health, who doesn't have issues or preferences. This friend looked fine. She's a gorgeous woman, but it wasn't what she preferred, and it hit her in a vulnerable place. Even if it wasn't a vulnerable place, even if it was just her preference, it is still her right to have preferences and have her feelings about it. We tend to put so much pressure on ourselves that when we learn something new, oh, EFT, cool. Now I have a tool for trauma release and prevention. Shouldn't ever feel a traumatic situation ever again in life. You're a doctor? Cool. Now you shouldn't ever get sick or do anything potentially unhealthy. You're a therapist? Cool. You must always have perfect control of your emotional state. No, stop. That's not the point. Life happens. Shit happens to everyone. Our point of governing, that is what is increased with this knowledge, that space between what we receive and how we respond. We certainly have an amount of choice in what we receive, and it is often bigger than what we realize. But even then, sometimes things just happen. But how we respond is ours, and the tools like the knowledge of how trauma works and how to apply EFT, that can help us give empowerment to engage our response in the way that works best for us. But it's not meant to strip us of our beautiful emotions or our colorful personalities. Those reaching out to teach and lead aren't attempting to erase themselves from the spectrum of the human response. Yet we've somehow along the line picked up this unspoken dialogue that that's what's expected. So if you've felt this sting, you aren't alone in it. And I invite you to walk away from this judgment. We are all still growing and learning, and most of us are doing our very, very best and are still troubled by feeling that it still isn't good enough. To that I say, the release doesn't come from figuring out how to do enough, but in squashing that belief that you aren't doing enough already, regardless of your level of knowledge or skill. Learning means you are constantly placing yourself in new situations where there is room for growth. There will constantly be things that you find you didn't know yet. And that's way easier to celebrate in an outwards journey than in an inwards journey, as we've developed different expectations despite it being the same process. So I'm offering you permission, if you needed to hear it, to be human. You have permission to be consistent in having emotions and preferences to your life experiences along with your growth. You have permission to learn incredibly helpful tools and still need them, from my heart to yours. I'll see you soon.